What's going on, guys? In this video, look at the trade that went down today. Buffalo Sabres trading Matthew Savoie to Edmonton Oilers for Ryan McLeod and Tullio. I don't quite understand it from Buffalo's perspective. Savoie was just picked 9th overall 2 years ago. He's been tearing up the WHL since then. He did have an injury this year, so he missed some time, but still, I look at his numbers, like 47 points, 23 games. He even had 5 points in 6 AHL games. So it shows he can still do it playing against men opposed to teenagers. In the playoffs he went off, he actually helped the Moose Jaw Warriors win the WHL championship. So I don't quite understand this one. I thought, Savoie would have been a big part of the Buffalo Sabres top 6 in the future. They decided to move on from him. He is a little bit smaller at 5'9", but I don't know. Yeah, just definitely a head scratcher for me. And then going the other way, like I said, Ryan McLeod and Tullio. Ryan McLeod definitely, a solid third-line center, but I think the Oilers probably weren't looking to trade him. They got this offer, and they obviously could not refuse. So you guys can see here, McLeod in-game, 2381. He's got the Wheels X Factor. Like I said, solid third-line center, pretty good two-way game. Maybe on Buffalo, he'll get a bit more ice time, potentially can turn that into, a bit more points, because I don't think he really produced too much this season. And then again, Tullio here, 2173 was playing the AHL this year. I think he had like 25 points, 50 games. He'll probably just be in the AHL, for the next couple of years, maybe eventually make the jump. And then again, in return, I can't believe it. Buffalo here gives up Matthew Savoie. In game, he has the 5th most trade value on the team behind Dahlin, Thompson, Benson, Power. Cousins should have more. I don't quite understand what the game's thinking here. He's only 3 years older and, much higher overall. Tuck should also probably have more, 87 overall. After that, though, Byron, Peterka, Quinn. Obviously, in real life, these guys have more value than Savoie, but in-game, he's got elite potential, so quite high. And again, I showed you guys all of his stats. I mean, I think he still deserves elite potential. I don't quite understand this from Buffalo's perspective. I saw some people saying, they got so many prospects coming up. You got like Isaac Rosen, Coolidge, Oslin, but none of those guys I think are as good as Savoie. And I guess they wanted to pay the price to, fill out that 3C. I'm honestly quite perplexed by Buffalo's move so far this summer. They made another one here, trading a 2nd-round pick for Beck Malenstain. Hopefully I said his name right. I'm not too familiar with him because he's pretty much been a career AHLer until this season. He had 81 games played with the Capitals, 21 points, apparently pretty fast, throws the body around. Didn't think he was worth a 2nd-round pick. They also bought out Jeff Skinner, who, of course, goes to the Oilers for free. So you could almost call this trade Savoie and a $3 million Jeff Skinner for McLeod and Tullio. And then I think with that money, after buying out Skinner, they got, like, Jason Zucker and a couple other just, mid players. I'm quite confused, but we'll get back to the trade here, guys. You can see Buffalo, a lot more value. And yeah, even on easy difficulty, no way are they ever saying yes to this. And now, guys, we're trying to trade from Buffalo's perspective. I'm sure the Oilers are going to say, not going to look the gift horse in the mouth, anything like that. I actually forgot to change it to the Oilers. Let's see. Are they interested in Savoie? They're not, which I guess he is a prospect. They're a contender. They literally made the Stanley Cup final Game 7 this year. Honestly, though, he immediately becomes their best prospect, like, by far. If you look at it right here, like, who would be their best? Holloway is no longer a prospect. In-game, it's Xavier Bourgault. Would I agree with that? Honestly, you might even give it to Bo Akey there. I think could potentially be slightly better. But, again, I think the price they pay here, McLeod, Tullio, it's just too good. Now, the Oilers do have Tullio on the block. Again, you look at that value, it's just crazy. I feel like the Oilers should have given up McLeod, Tullio, and a future first-round pick. Honestly, we know they're going to say yes to this, right? So let's just see. With the Oilers, we can't do the 2024 first. Let's say, I know they made a trade. Let's say they do the 2026 first to the Flyers. Let's say they move the 2025 first. The Oilers would probably still do this. Yeah, they would. So that just shows you, like, in-game, EA feels like the Oilers absolutely fleeced Buffalo because, yeah, that's going to go through. I feel guilty saying yes to this deal. Edmonton's making it out like gangbusters here compared to you, and I agree. Honestly, guys, so far this summer, I would say this might be the #1 fleece just because, like, who the Oilers are getting back. Savoie has that, potential to be a first-line player easily. And I think, they're only giving up a 3C and maybe a future bomb 6er in Tullio. I think for me, like, the 3 biggest fleeces would be this one. Of course, Detroit trading Wallman in a second for nothing to the Sharks. Everyone was saying, it was a precursor to a bigger deal. Bigger deal never came. So for whatever reason, Eisman decided to do that trade, and like a bunch of GMs came out saying they would have taken Wallman for free, or at least taken Wallman for less than a 2nd-round pick. And then the other trade, I think, was a bit of a fleece. I almost made a video on it, but I was a bit too late. That was Ottawa getting nowhere near the value they gave up to get Jacob Chychrun. I believe they traded like a 1st and 2 seconds for him. They get a 3rd and Nick Jensen back in return. Just not good enough. So some interesting trades for sure so far this summer. Hopefully some more keep happening. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I'm not going to bother showing the line, as obviously I don't have it all updated with all the free agent signings yet. So I'll have to do that before the next franchise, which will be Calgary. You guys voted, and I'll make sure that happens, hopefully in the very near future. So if you guys enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.